What's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to the Sunday Evening Podcast. That's evening, how we say it in the South. If you're on the West Coast or you're not super Southern, that's evening. The Sunday Evening Podcast, but I'm going to say evening just because it makes me smile. So this podcast is actually just me answering questions. It's not the full-length interview version. I'm answering a couple questions people send me. There won't be any back and forth banter or, anything else like that. So this one's a lot shorter. And it's really just something to kind of whet your appetite until the next Wednesday podcast where there's a full interview and someone's kind of working through a situation. So if you have a similar question, hopefully this is beneficial to you. If you have a question in the future you want me to answer, again, DM me. Hit me up on social media, Twitter, Instagram at Sexy Comedy. And then hopefully I can get to your questions one day. Sit back and enjoy the question and answer. Thank you. Hey, Chris Kane, big fan of your podcast, longtime listener. Well, that's just not true, sir. I've only had one podcast so far. So long-time listener, meaning earlier this week, I guess that's true, but you're just trying to make me feel good. But I appreciate it. Thank you. All right, so let's get to what the actual question is. I'll keep identities a secret. In this age of social media, how can you tell if a woman likes you or just wants your attention? All right, that's a pretty legitimate question. Social media kind of runs the world right now. So most of us are on social media. I think we experience this on a daily basis. How do you know if she wants you or wants your attention? I'm going to make a generalization that may infuriate some women, but whatever. This is my podcast, so that's how I do it. I haven't met a woman yet that doesn't like attention. So I think the question may even be misphrased. Does she want my time or does she want me? I think every woman I've met likes some level of attention. Now, there's obviously varying degrees. If you're attractive, or she's attracted to you, let's put it that way, then I think she wants more of your time. But even if you're just a regular dude, if you just cater to her or do favors or this and that, I don't know too many women that turn down general attention. So she probably wants your attention because you're making it available to her. Also, I'll just put that out there to begin with. Does she like you? To use a fourth grade expression. Do you like me? Yeah, but do you like me? Can we hold hands later? That's a little bit harder to discern. I don't know how you guys communicate now. So if you're just sending SpongeBob memes, which I do because I love SpongeBob and he's that dude, old SpongeBob, not new SpongeBob, when he's in the sandy bowl and he's like, I don't need water for quitters. That kind of stuff is awesome to me. That's how I communicate generally, but I'm not usually using that to make a move. I'm just doing it to be fun. But if you're sliding the DM, and y'all going back and forth, or if y'all are texting and stuff, that it's a little more personal than just memes and stuff. So if the communication seems more than friendly, which is a hard thing for guys to kind of grasp because guys, we think all attention girls give us is sexual attention. And women, I understand this is an issue for y'all, but you got to understand this is how we work. And so that's why a lot of misunderstandings happen, right? A girl can just say, hey, you look nice today. And that's it. We go together. I don't care if you're married. I don't care if you got kids. She complimented me, dog. We go together. That's it. Most dudes don't take much more than that. So, and for women, I know it's hard because you want to be able to be honest and tell a guy he looks nice without, being hit on, but that's not the world we live in for the most part. So that sucks. So I can't tell without any more details how you guys are communicating currently, but if you guys are doing that kind of back and forth thing and it seems like you're garnering a certain amount of her attention, I would try to push the envelope a little bit. You got to take it to the next step because most women I know will just allow you to give up your time. Just frivolous, just give it up. And they won't push it. They won't ask for more. They're just happy to absorb your time without you trying to hit on them, right? I've seen guys talk to girls for 6 months who like the girl but didn't make a move. And then 6 months in the day, they were like, hey, you want to go out? And she was like, oh, no, you like my brother now. You missed that boat 4 months ago, dog. I thought you didn't like me. So, they were just willing to keep the friendship going. They thought this is a genuine guy friend who doesn't see me sexually. And he was just a guy who was, I guess, plotting or waiting for the perfect time to strike. But he waited too late, and then, he missed out. So don't fall into that trap of it's just going to organically become something more than what it is. Because if she's really not interested in you or just kind of like your time, she'll let this go. She'll just let it ride out and just be like, "This is my new guy friend." So you got to make a move and don't be over aggressive like what that mouth do, which is hilarious, but will probably get you slapped. I would invite her out for like coffee or something, or like I live in LA, so like a Dodgers game is a big deal out here because Dodgers are the shit, right? If you live in Miami, don't take it to a Marlins game. You might as well tell her you don't like her. You want to go watch the Marlins play? What? I thought we was cool. No. So, because the Marlins suck. That's what that joke is. That's a simple thing to do. It can even be something more simple than that. Like, hey, you want to get coffee sometime or something. Just something to let it know I'm done with this level and let's try to take it to the next level. And if you guys do that and she tells you I'm not interested in you, then you got to be willing to make a decision. Because if you're talking to her to be with her and she's not interested in you, then you got to kind of be okay with that. And okay in the sense that you can't like be mad. You can be disappointed, sure, because you like her, she doesn't like you back, right? But if she says I don't like you like that, I want to be just your friend, then you got to be cool with just kind of bowing out if you don't want to be more. Or if you stay in as a friend, you got to stay in as a friend righteously. You can't just try to be the friend and then back channel your way into being her dude. If she's like, you're my friend, you got to be the friend. And if you don't want to be the friend because you want more, then you owe it to yourself to be out. Trust me, I've been in this situation before, a couple times, where I liked the girl, she didn't like me back, and I said, you know what, I'm going to be a bigger dude. I'm going to stay in and be the friend. And it wasn't the right move. It ended up hurting me more, caught more emotions, and then I got resentful, and it was really on me because she told me the truth. She told me I just want to be friends. But I thought, well, she doesn't know me well enough. If I can just be around her more, maybe I can convince her to be my boo, and then we'll see. And then it just didn't work out well. But when I look back on it, it was on me. I was like, man, I should have just. I knew I wanted to be with her, but she didn't want to be with me, so I should have been out. So you gotta know when you make that move and you take your shot, which I encourage every dude to do. Take your shot. All you can do is make a miss. If she says nah, then the decision's in you. So I would make a little move, see what she's about. If she's about it, then that's what's up, dude. Maybe this can go somewhere. If she says nah, then don't be mad, don't be bitter. Figure out if she's really your friend or if you really just liked her. And then you can kind of go from there. And let us know. But I would like to revisit this question a couple weeks from now after I've had a few podcasts and you can actually say you're a fan and not just some dude. So let me know how that goes. Thank you for the question. Hi, Chris. I'm dreading this upcoming football season because my boyfriend is obsessed with football. And I think seriously he loves it more than he loves me. How do I balance his love of football with my love of him without trying to infringe on what he loves? Well, first of all, you have to get over it because football is the shit. No, I'm messing with you about getting over it. Football really is the shit, though. This is tough. I've had this conversation before. If your guy loves sports, you just have to support the fact that he loves sports. You can't really don't make him choose. Because even if he chooses you in the short term, he's going to resent you later. Like, if there's a basketball game on and you want to go on a picnic, don't make him go on a picnic because he's just going to dislike you. He may go on a picnic just to, keep things cool, but that's not a good way to do it. I think you only have a couple options. One, you could try to get into the sport, whatever it is. And most guys are cool with trying to explain what the sport is to their girl, because they know it's kind of a bonding thing, and really guys just like talking about sports. So me trying to explain a cover 2 defense to a girl who doesn't know anything about football, I may get out a chart, I may get a pen and paper, I may pull up a YouTube thing, and I'll get into it. And most women I've run into and talked to love seeing their guy be passionate about something, and most guys are really passionate about sports. So watching him talk about, defenses and this and that, or in basketball, like a fast break or various ball handling things, like that makes the guy happy. So if you actually want to know, like, babe, I really want to understand football, but I just don't get it. It looks like a bunch of guys just hitting each other. Like, help me understand it. And just let them talk through it for a little bit. And I guarantee, one, you'll gain major cool points with a guy. Like, he might actually clean the gutters. He might, vacuum the floor. Y'all may not even live together. I'm just talking. That's what people do. But it's going to gain major cool points. And it's probably going to bring y'all a little bit closer together because you're taking an interest in something that he likes. So that would be one suggestion. You could also just be honest and just be like, hey, I know football is kind of your thing. Football really is only played on Saturday and Sunday, right? There's Monday Night Football, but that's late at night. And there's Thursday Night Football that no one cares about because it's awful. So this is really only like a 2-day thing. And if he's a homer, let's say he lives in Alabama, he's probably going to want to watch Alabama or Auburn play in college. And they usually only play at like 3:30 or 8 at night. So that's like a few hour commitment. And then whatever Sunday football team he likes, right? So this is maybe like 6 hours out of the week if he's like that kind of fan. I'm the kind of dude that I will just watch football for like 10 hours straight. So it's a little more of a concern because you just can't neglect your girl for 2 full days in a row. That's kind of selfish, to say the least. So you can just be honest with him. Like, listen, babe, I know football is your thing. I don't really want to get in your way. So while you're watching football, I'm going to go do my thing. But then later in the week, if you have something you want to do, I think he should do the same for you. It should be like reciprocated. So let's say Wednesday night is, I don't know, Game of Thrones. I know it's on Sunday, but just work with me, all right? Let's say Wednesday night you're a big Game of Thrones fanatic and you really want to watch Game of Thrones. And so if you say, babe, I know Wednesday night you normally want to watch this, but this is Game of Thrones night, I got to watch it. I think it's only reasonable that he respects that because you respected his football wishes. So really it's just like, I did for you, you did for me. We both did what we like. We both kind of spent the time we wanted to spend with our activity. And we're going to just kind of move forward from there. The minute you start saying it or me or, ultimatum kind of stuff is not going to go well for you. So I would stay away from that. And listen, football season only lasts until February. So get ready for the next 6 months. It's going to be awesome. So hopefully that helped you a little bit. I'm a Gator fan, so go Gators. I'm a Bronco fan, so go Broncos. But if he likes opposite teams, then I take all that back, root actively against him and tell him his teams suck. He's going to be pissed off, and just tell him that I said it. Okay, this is going to be our last question of the night. Hi, Chris. I am a girl who just turned 30, so you're a woman, and I'm kind of freaking out. I don't have a boyfriend. I don't have kids. I have a good career, but I want more than that. I'm concerned that I'm getting to the age where I won't be able to find the guy that I can have the family I've always dreamed of having. What should I do? Well, that's a loaded question. First of all, 30 is, I know it's kind of like a media creation to some degree, right? Like there's all the movies say by 30 you should be the woman you're supposed to be, but from what I can tell, most women aren't there. Even if you have kids before you're 30, you're still trying to figure out what kind of life and what kind of person you want to be. So as far as kids go, I know you have pretty much a 5-year window to feel really good about it. But nowadays, I feel like there are women having kids up until around 40, so the dangers seem to be less than they used to be. So we'll say 5 to 7 year window just to be safe. But, you can meet a guy tomorrow and then, a year from now have a kid. So I know, don't freak out about that part. As far as the guys are the hard part because you can theoretically have a kid with any guy who's physically able to, right? So I wouldn't meet a dude and think procreation because they all kind of look like candidates, and there's not a lot of good dudes out there. I'm saying that as a dude. There's a lot of grimy guys out there. And so when you start trying to put circle pegs into square holes, which is what people do when they get desperate, like, well, this will do, and they start trying to jam it in there, that usually turns out poorly, where you have a kid, but now you have a kid with someone who you don't really care for and who's not really there for the kid. But, you had a kid, so I guess according to society, you won. But ideally, you want your cake and you want to have it. You want to eat it too, right? You want to be able to have a kid with someone you care about and then actually spend a life with that person. So I'm not a proponent of settling as a general rule. So I'm never going to advertise for someone to settle. If you don't feel it, if it doesn't feel right, it's probably not right. I think your instincts or your gut are telling you the right thing. So if you meet a guy and he's got a good job, but he seems like he's immature and he seems like this or that, I would probably trust that and say, okay, that's not what he is. Or if a guy tells you, I don't want kids, but you think I can convince him later, so just don't force it. I think that process of having kids and finding the person you want to be with happens kind of smoothly. Not that there won't be battles and stuff, but you don't have to like convince yourself that this guy is the right guy. I think a lot of girls do that. Guys, I think, are less discerning, but I think a lot of women will try to rationalize why they're with the wrong guy. You can hear it in their communication. Hey, are you happy? Well, I mean, he has a good job. He's stable. They say all these those are all the right things to say, but they never answer the question of whether they're happy or not. So I think it's something to guard against. I really am a proponent of having faith generally, but also in this person you choose. Even if you're not like a religious person, you have to believe that what you have and what you are is valuable enough that it will shine through, and it's going to attract the right people to you. And sometimes you have to weed through a lot of negative and bad people to get to the good. So if you're 29, 30 and you haven't found the right person yet, that means you're still weeding through the bad, I'm guessing. So don't try to accelerate that process to get to the finish line, because the journey is kind of part of it. And for a lot of people, it's the most important part. I know a lot of married people, and they tell me once you get married, it just gets weird. And I'm using some good language here. They say a lot of other things, but as few things seem to be as cool as lusting and dating the person you really want to be with. And then once you get married, all these contractual things happen and obligations happen, and then it's like, yeah, and he doesn't do anything, and it just becomes that kind of thing. So enjoy the journey, man, because this is your life. Yes, the final result is dope, but this is your life. You want to enjoy dating. You want to enjoy that weeding out process. And I know that clock is ticking and it's in the back of your mind, and the guy can be like, I'm a junior executive, and you're like, ooh, that might be a winner. You start doing the equations in your head and stuff, but keep the faith. If you want to know where to find a good guy, I guess that's kind of an implied question. Do not go to a bar. I think generally that's not really where you find good guys. Sometimes you do. It happens, but you're more likely to find a guy who just wants to hook up in a bar. So I would stay away from that. If you're a religious person, if you're Jewish, I would go to temple. If you're a Christian, I would go to church. If you're not either of those things, I don't know, where do golf courses? Where do good guys meet? I'm a dude, so I don't know where to find good guys. I would go to places that you think the guy you want to be with will probably frequent, if that makes any sense, right? So if you want someone who's upper class, then I would probably go to an art show or something, because that tends to attract upper class people, right? I wouldn't go to a Coachella and then try to find a man. That's not probably going to work out well. So try that. Keep the faith. Keep your spirits up, because negative energy pushes people away. So if you're negative and you're like, I'm 31 now and I'm all sad, and no one wants to be a part of that. So keep energy up, keep the faith, and hopefully you'll find a person you want to be with soon, and then y'all can do the whole rabbit thing and start popping out babies, and you'll be happy, according to Disney. And then all your dreams will come true. I hope. Thank you all for tuning in to the Sunday Evening Podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have your own questions, hit me up at Twitter or on Instagram at Sexy Comedy. Again, DM me any questions you want me to answer. Tell your friends as we try to grow this podcast one at a time. I hope you guys have a great Monday, Tuesday, and I'll see you guys again on Wednesday with the full-length podcast. These will all be posted on my website, iamsexycomedy.com. So tell your friends, tweet, repost, all that good stuff. Aside from that, enjoy your night. Have a great week, y'all. Deuces.